Welcome to Gridiron Ring, a sports talk show covering football and professional wrestling. This audio recording, is the first of three brand new videos this week right here on Gridiron Ring. So be sure to go check out my NFL Week 11 predictions and WWE NXT War Games and Survivor Series 2018 predictions videos right here on Gridiron Ring's YouTube channel. You're currently listening to my college football Week 12 predictions. Last week during Week 11, 20-11, 184-93 overall on the year now record-wise. So thanks for tuning in and listening to my college football Week 12 predictions. As I said, three new videos, NFL Week 11 predictions, and WWE NXT War Games and Survivor Series predictions as well. So be sure to go check those out. Be sure, if you haven't done so already as well, to like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Gridiron Ring's website. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. All the links are in the description below, so scroll down, check those links out. Be sure to follow Gridiron Ring on social media. Hit that like button right here on YouTube. Like this video, like my NFL Week 11 predictions video, and my WWE NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series 2018 predictions video as well. And then hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube so you can be one of the first to get brand new notifications whenever new content is published. So as I said, last week during college football, 20-11, 184-93 now on the season. Week 12 predictions on the way. But last week, to kick off my recap for college football Week 11, in the MAC, Northern Illinois defeated Toledo 38-15. Wake Forest upset NC State on the road on last Thursday night by a score of 27-23. Syracuse absolutely pounded Louisville at home at the Carrier Dome 54-23. Louisville then fired head coach Bobby Petrino, so he is no longer the head coach at Louisville for the second time in the past 15 years. I'll get more into coaching firings and the coaching carousel in both college and the NFL football game here within the next couple weeks to a month. I'll have a video out for that. I talked about it in my NFL predictions. I'll have a video out for probably two videos, to be honest with you, because I'll have one mainly for college and then one mainly for the NFL after the NFL season gets over. But had our first big firing in college football with Bobby Petrino. So it looks like right now Louisville is going to be the main job to keep an eye out on to see who gets that job. I've heard Jeff Brom, the former Louisville quarterback, is first in line, is the number one candidate for the Louisville job. So we'll have to see what happens there. There's going to be a lot of other names for this job and other jobs that open up as well. So when the time's right, when the time comes within the next couple weeks to a month, I'll have a video out detailing all my thoughts and opinions on what I think will happen and what I think teams and schools should do with hiring their next head football coach. But Syracuse defeated Louisville 54-23, as I said, last Friday night. Also last Friday night, Boise State came back and defeated Fresno State at home by 7, 24-17. On Saturday then, Penn State defeated Wisconsin at home right here in Happy Valley at Beaver Stadium by a score of 22-10. Florida came back, defeated South Carolina at the Swamp 35-31. Texas A&M defeated Ole Miss 38-24. Ohio State won on the road to East Lansing, defeated the Michigan State Spartans 26-6. Kansas State defeated Kansas in the Big 12 21-17. Also in the Big 12, West Virginia defeated TCU 47-10, really put the hammer down on the Horned Frogs. Duke defeated North Carolina in the Tobacco Road rivalry 42-35. Arizona State over UCLA in the Pac-12 31-28. The Sun Devils are now bowl eligible. They control their own destiny to get to the Pac-12 title game in the Pac-12 South. Alabama shut out Mississippi State 24-0. This is the Crimson Tide's second straight shutout. They shut out LSU last week on the road in Baton Rouge 29-0. They have now shut out AP ranked opponents in back-to-back games for the first time in school history. Now we're looking ahead to potentially a Alabama-Clemson rematch for the fourth consecutive season. I talked about it last week. 4 years ago, 3 and 4 years ago, they met each other in the national championship game out in Phoenix and then down in Tampa, and then they met in the Sugar Bowl last year for the third consecutive year in the college football playoff. And right now, those two teams are the best, if you ask me, in college football. I think we're going to be getting a fourth game in 4 consecutive seasons between Alabama and Clemson, potentially for the national championship, because I don't see Alabama or Clemson moving out of the 1 or number 2 spot in the college football playoff rankings. I'll get to the latest rankings here in a second. Tennessee defeated Kentucky also in the SEC 24-7. I was really surprised about that, but like I said last week, Kentucky's only defeated the Volunteers 2 times since 1984. Washington State over Colorado out west in the Pac-12 31-7. Michigan over Rutgers 42-7. Northern won the Big Ten West for the first time ever. They went on the road to Iowa City, defeated the Iowa Hawkeyes by a score of 14, and they will play in their first Big Ten title game versus either Michigan or Ohio State. Iowa State over Baylor 28-14. Oklahoma over Oklahoma State in Bedlam 48-47. Mike Gundy, head coach of Oklahoma State, decided to go for 2 there late. Cowboys failed, so the Sooners hung on and won by a score of 48-47. Pitt over Virginia Tech by 30, 52-22. The Panthers will clinch an ACC title berth. They will have to play Clemson if they defeat Wake Forest on the road on Saturday. Minnesota over Purdue, somewhat of a big upset there, 41-10. Utah over Oregon, 32-25. Georgia defeated Auburn at home, 27-10. Also in the state of Georgia, Georgia Tech defeated Miami, 27-21 in the ACC. Then in the American Athletic Conference, Cincinnati defeated South Florida, 35-23. Temple over Houston, 59-49 in a shootout. LSU won the Golden Boot over Arkansas, 24-7. Notre Dame blew out Florida State at home, 42-13. The Florida State bowl streak is now in jeopardy. Florida State has to win out, as they are 4-6. They have to win their last 2 games to get to 6-6 to become bowl eligible for the 37th consecutive year. We'll have to see if they can get 6-6, or more than likely might finish 4. Texas defeated Texas Tech, got revenge for the 2008 game on a very similar eerie play. They defeated the Red Raiders 41-34. Go up to the search bar right here on YouTube after you're done listening to this. Look up the Texas Tech game from 2008, the Graham Harrell and Michael Crabtree connection, and then look up the Texas Tech 2018 game in football and see the game-winning touchdown pass that was won by Texas over Texas Tech 41-34. So you'll know what I'm talking about if you go do those things after you're done listening to my college football Week 12 predictions. Clemson defeated Boston College 27-7, and then Cal defeated USC for the first time since 2003 by a score of 15-14. As I said, I'd get to the latest college football playoff rankings here in a second. Here they are. The top 10 did not change since last week, so the top 10 stays the same. Alabama 1, Clemson 2, Notre Dame 3, Michigan 4. Georgia's 5, Oklahoma 6, LSU 7, Washington State 8, West Virginia 9, and then Ohio State rounds out the top 10 at 10 once again. Central Florida 11, Syracuse 12, Florida 13, Penn State jumped from 20 to 14 after defeating Wisconsin. Texas 15, Iowa State 16, Kentucky 17. They fell after they lost to Georgia and Tennessee then in the past 2 weeks. Washington 18, Utah 19, Boston College 20, Mississippi State 21, Northwestern 22, 23 is Utah State, 24 Cincinnati, and Boise State rounds out the top 25 at 25. So stay tuned. College football Week 12 predictions right around the corner. Alright, so the first game I'm going to predict for my Week 12 predictions is Tulane and Houston. They play on Thursday night. Houston, they can put up points. They put up 49 last week in a losing effort. I think if they can stop the green wave of Tulane and still be effective on offense as what they've been in the past couple weeks, I think Houston can obviously win. I mean, last time I checked, whoever scores the most points in football wins. So give me Houston over Tulane. And then also on Thursday night, Florida Atlantic plays North Texas. I think the mean green of North Texas will get revenge over the Florida Atlantic Owls for their 2 losses that the Owls gave them last year, once during the regular season and then once during the conference championship game in the Conference USA. So give me Houston and North Texas on Thursday night, and then On Friday night, Memphis will go to Dallas to play SMU. Give me the Tigers on the road to pick up a big win in the American Athletic Conference. But before I get into Saturday's game, actually, there's already been a couple games this week in the MAC. On Tuesday night, Ball State defeated Western Michigan 42-41 in overtime. And then earlier tonight, as it is late Wednesday night, November the 14th, 2018, it is really, really late. Earlier this evening, Ohio defeated Buffalo at home. Buffalo was 9-1 going into this game. So big win, big upset win for Ohio over Buffalo. They won 52-17. And then Miami, Ohio defeated Northern Illinois 13-7. So now, as I move into the games on Saturday, the first game I'm going to predict on Saturday is Middle Tennessee State and Kentucky. Obviously a non-conference game. This matchup is a lot of SEC games this weekend are because the past, I don't know how long, the last weekend of the season, the SEC normally has their teams play a tune-up game, a non-conference game, to get ready for their regular season finale. So Middle Tennessee State will have to go to Lexington to play the Wildcats, and I think Kentucky will bounce back after losing to Georgia and Tennessee in the past couple weeks. As I said there earlier, they dropped in the latest college football playoff rankings. So give me Kentucky over Middle Tennessee State in this non-conference tilt Saturday at noon. Ohio State will go to College Park, Maryland to play the Terrapins. Maryland has never beaten Ohio State, and Ohio State has scored at least 49 in every meeting, so give me the Buckeyes over the Terps. Michigan State and Nebraska will play in Lincoln on Saturday. They will honor former players. Michigan State will honor Mike Sadler, and Nebraska will honor Sam Foltz, two place kickers who were killed in a accident a couple years ago. Now, these teams have not met since 2015. Nebraska is playing good as of late, so give me the Cornhuskers over the Spartans. TCU will go to Waco to play Baylor. Both teams down this year. TCU, I think they'll win in a close one. Watch out, though. I think this could turn into a shootout. Pitt will go to Wake Forest. Pitt looking for their first ever trip to the ACC title game with a win over the Demon Deacons on Saturday. It's going to be tough, but I think Pitt will win on Saturday in a close one. Pitt, they proved me wrong the past 2 weeks. They went down to Charlottesville, defeated Virginia. They came back home, defeated Virginia Tech at home this past Saturday by 30. So I think they can go to Winston-Salem and defeat the Wake Forest Demon Deacons and go to Charlotte for the first time ever in the ACC title game. They've played in Charlotte before, and hell, who knows, they might be playing there for their bowl game as well, depending on what happens. Defeat Wake Forest on Saturday. South Florida will go to Philly to play Temple. Home team has won the past 4 meetings, so make it 5 in a row. Give me Temple over the Bulls of South Florida. Utah over Colorado, especially too, plus you got a team from Florida coming north the third weekend in November. It's going to be very, very cold, especially for them. It will be. I mean, the Temple team will be used to it as they play in this weather all year long. But just another reason I think Temple will defeat South Florida on Saturday. So Pac-12 now, Utah, Colorado. Utah has owned Colorado since both these teams entered the Pac-12 back in 2011. So give me the Utes over the Buffs once again. And plus, Colorado, rumor is they're going to be firing Mike McIntyre, their head coach, at the end of the season. Even though Kansas, they fired David Beatty, and they're letting him coach the rest of the year. Maybe they've already told McIntyre he's fired, and then they're just going to let him coach the last 2 games of the year. Because Colorado, they started out 5-0, but they've lost 5 straight, so they're 5-5. They got to win at least one of their next 2 games to become bowl eligible. Who knows? They might lose out, finish 5-7, and then not make a bowl. Just another reason to fire your head coach. So give me Utah over Colorado. The game of the week, in my opinion, Syracuse and Notre Dame, 2:30 kickoff, not 3:30, 2:30 on NBC. Syracuse and Notre Dame at Yankee Stadium. So Notre Dame, they're going to be wearing pinstripe uniforms in honor of playing at Yankee Stadium, the new Yankee Stadium, the one that Derek Jeter built, not the old one, not the one that Babe Ruth had built back in the day. Notre Dame, they're currently a 10.5 point favorite as I record this. As I said, it's late Wednesday night, Wednesday, November 14th, 2018. And there was some college games on earlier, like I said there a minute ago, and on yesterday. And got another great slate, this weekend. And hopefully you enjoy this preview, these predictions. So Syracuse, Notre Dame, 10.5 point favorite for the Fighting Irish over the Cuse. But watch out for Syracuse. They can put up some fucking points. They are 12th in the country right now. Their highest ranking, as I said there a couple weeks ago, since like 1998. Give me Syracuse to upset Notre Dame, to cause some chaos in college football, to really shake up these college football playoff rankings. And one of those teams that's on the outside looking in right now, like Georgia or Oklahoma or West Virginia or Washington State, even Ohio State at 10, even Syracuse at 12. If they win, they're right now not going to be going to the ACC title game, but who the hell knows? They could still potentially try to inch their way up there close to the top 4. I highly doubt they'll make the playoff, but they could still, if they win out, they could still get a great New Year's Six bowl game, and that would be a huge accomplishment for Dino Babers and the Syracuse Orange. So give me Syracuse over Notre Dame on Saturday. I actually had Notre Dame penciled in here, but so I got to talking there, thinking about, do I really want to go forward with Notre Dame? Last week after I recorded, Ian Book was supposed to still be the quarterback for Notre Dame going into their Florida State game this past week, but he's actually out with an injury, and who knows if he'll play on Saturday during this game at Yankee Stadium. Brandon Wimbush, who was a former Penn State commit, decommitted, went to Notre Dame, played well up until the middle of the season, and then they put in Ian Book, and I talked about it last week too, and they've gone on this run. So give me Syracuse, though. I'm going to take the Orange. I don't know why I am doing this, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because I'm tired, but maybe I'll go back and listen to this later and change my mind. But I am going to pick Syracuse, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to take Syracuse to upset Brian Kelly's Notre Dame team. Maybe I talked about the coaching carousel there earlier. Maybe Dino Babers from Syracuse, maybe he jumps from Syracuse after having a great season to one of these bigger jobs. Maybe to Louisville, who they just beat last week. Maybe if another bigger job opens up, maybe Brian Kelly goes to the NFL finally. Who the hell knows? But Syracuse, I think, will defeat Notre Dame. And then Missouri and Tennessee on CBS Saturday afternoon. The Volunteers, I think, will become bowl eligible after they defeat Missouri on Saturday. Yeah, they'll have 6 wins after they win on Saturday. So give me UT over Mizzou. Penn State goes to Rutgers Saturday. Sunday, there's a lot of NFL games. By the way, Penn State Rutgers, I'll be on Periscope for. Also be on Periscope Thursday night for Packers Seahawks. And then Saturday, Penn State Rutgers, WWE NXT TakeOver War Games. And then on Sunday, as I said, these college games are on Saturday. There was one on Tuesday and 2 on Wednesday here today, and the rest are on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But on Sunday, there will be some NFL games as usual. And the NFL has owned Sundays for how long now? And then I'll be on Periscope for the Eagles-Saints game on Sunday afternoon, and then also Sunday night for WWE Survivor Series, and then on Monday for Monday Night Football between the Chiefs and Rams. And I talked about all this in my NFL Week 11 predictions and WWE NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series predictions videos as well. So if you tuned in and listened to those, thanks. You're obviously currently listening to my College Football Week 12 predictions. So thanks for listening to this. Thanks for listening to the other videos as well. But Penn State Rutgers will be on Periscope, so follow me on Periscope at CoolHandLuke96. Rutgers, they've only defeated Penn State twice. Back in 1988, and then 100 years ago, back in 1918. That third win for the Scarlet Knights over the Nittany Lions is going to have to wait, maybe another 100 years. So give me Penn State over Rutgers. And then Northwestern goes to Minnesota in the Big Ten as well. Northwestern, they're just too hot after clinching their first ever Big Ten West title this past Saturday against Iowa. As I said, they won 14-10. They'll be playing either Michigan or Ohio State in the Big Ten title game on December the 1st. So no way Northwestern loses to Minnesota. Give me the Wildcats over the Golden Gophers. Then the Battle of Los Angeles. If USC wins, they become bowl eligible. I think they will win over UCLA. Always a fun game to watch. Both teams having their worst seasons, though, in the past, say, 10, 12 years. But USC wins, becomes bowl eligible, gets their 6th win of the year, and goes bowling. So USC over UCLA. A couple ACC games now. Boston College goes to Florida State. Virginia goes to Georgia Tech. And then Miami goes to Virginia Tech. Start with Boston College, Florida State. Boston College looking for their first win in Tallahassee since 2008. So 10 years since they defeated the Seminoles on their home turf. And I think they'll defeat them this year. Florida State's down. As I said earlier, they're 4-6 right now. They got to win out to become bowl eligible for the 37th consecutive season. So they lose on Saturday. They're not going bowling this year. Willie Taggart, I wouldn't be surprised, actually, to be honest with you, that they fire his ass. He really hasn't been what they said he was going to be. And Boston College, I think they'll put one of those nails in the coffin over the Seminoles, for the Seminoles on Saturday. So give me BC over Florida State, and then give me Virginia over Georgia Tech. I know the home team has won the last 4 meetings in this series as well, but I think the Cavaliers can stop the Yellow Jackets triple option. So give me UVA over Georgia Tech. And then Miami, Virginia Tech. Miami's just been too up and down. Virginia Tech, they got to win out there to get to 6-5 to become bowl eligible. They're 4-5 right now, but they had a game earlier this year that was canceled due to one of the hurricanes earlier in the season. So give me the Hokies over the Hurricanes. Then in the Big 12, West Virginia will go to Stillwater to play Oklahoma State. West Virginia has not beaten Oklahoma State since 2014. That game was actually in Stillwater at Boone Pickens Stadium. Now, if you're a Big 12 fan, I would highly recommend rooting for West Virginia over OK State on Saturday. And then, I mean, if you're a West Virginia or Oklahoma fan, those two teams are more than likely going to meet twice within the next 3 weeks, either next Friday, Black Friday. And then I say that because they'll probably meet again in the Big 12 title game as of now on December the 1st. So if you're a West Virginia fan, obviously you want to win out to potentially crash the playoff. You'll need some help. Oklahoma's going to need some help though too, I think, just with how everything's been going as of late. But I mean, like I said earlier, I picked Syracuse over Notre Dame. I think everybody wants to see some chaos in college football. But like I said, if you're a Big 12 fan, you need West Virginia to defeat Oklahoma State on Saturday, and then either West Virginia to defeat Oklahoma twice or Oklahoma to defeat West Virginia twice for your best chance to potentially crash the playoff, get into the playoff, be that number 3 or 4 seed depending on what happens. So give me West Virginia over Oklahoma State there, and then we'll see what happens here in the next couple weeks. It's going to be chaos either way. I'm sure somebody's going to lose. That's why they play the games. Wisconsin will go to West Lafayette to play Purdue. I think the Badgers will bounce back after losing to Penn State this past week. So give me Whiskey over Purdue. And then Indiana goes to Michigan to play the Wolverines. IU has not defeated Michigan since 1987. Give me Michigan. UAB goes to Texas A&M to play the Aggies. Second ever all-time meeting. First one was back in 2009. Now, when A&M scheduled this game, as I said there earlier, most all these SEC teams, if they're not off this weekend, are playing cupcake games, tune-up games, playing shitty non-conference school. But when A&M scheduled this, they probably thought this would be a cupcake game, a tune-up game to go into the regular season finale. But now UAB, they're 9-1. They have not lost since week 2, and this is only a couple years after they closed their football program. So more power to them, more props to them. But Texas A&M, they're just too powerful. I think they're too tough. They'll defeat UAB. They'll find a way to win late. I believe that game's at 7 o'clock on either ESPN or ESPN2 Saturday night. So might tune in to that. right before WWE NXT TakeOver War Games. But depending on what other games are on, we'll see. Another game that's on Saturday night, so I'm going to take A&M over UAB. Another game, though, that's on Saturday night is Duke and Clemson. The teams have not met since 2012, and Duke has not defeated Clemson since 2004, so give me Clemson. The band is on the field once again. Stanford plays Cal Saturday night. Cal, yeah, they had a big win this past week against USC, defeated the Trojans 15-14, as I said earlier, for the first time since 2003, but I think Stanford will win this one on Saturday, and Berkeley over the Golden Bears. Iowa State goes to Austin to play Texas. Big game for both these teams for position-wise in the Big 12. Say something happens to either West Virginia or Oklahoma there in the Big 12, and then whoever wins this game, could potentially find themselves in the Big 12 title game, because the Big 12 takes the top two teams from the conference and puts them in the conference championship game up against each other. So right now, like I said, it's probably going to be West Virginia and Oklahoma, but we could see West Virginia, Texas again, West Virginia, Oklahoma. Like I said, West Virginia, Iowa State, West Virginia. There's still a lot of different scenarios there on who could be playing each other in Dallas on December 1st. But I think Texas wins this, gives them that head-to-head win, and gets them inching further if something does happen to, say, either West Virginia or Oklahoma, and then potentially gets them in the Big 12 title game. So give me the Longhorns over the Cyclones. Cincinnati goes to Central Florida. Big game, especially if Central Florida blows out Cincy on Saturday night. This game is Saturday night, 8 o'clock on ABC. College Game Day is going to be in town. I know everybody's pumped up down there in Orlando. But say Central Florida blows out the Bearcats in front of a national audience on ABC, and say they win out. Say they win the American Athletic Conference as well. And with this win, probably their best win to date, to be honest with you. I know it's this late in the year, but still, you're undefeated. Okay, resume doesn't look that good. One big win, you win your conference, so on and so forth. But they could make a strong case of crashing the playoff, even though they have not really moved up in the college football playoff rankings, the 3 rankings that they've had since they came out, because the first 2 they stayed put, and like I said earlier, they moved up there 1 spot. But they could make a strong case for crashing the playoff, but even more so for expanding the playoff to potentially even 6, 8, 10, 12 teams. I think 6 would be fine. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You give the top 2 teams a bye, do how the NFL does it. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. You don't have to expand the season. You play your conference championship games the first weekend in December. You play the wild card round, as it would be the second weekend in December. The bowl games start then the following week, but then by that point, your wild card game would be done. Your bowl games would be beginning, and then your semifinal games could stay put at the end of December, early January, and then your championship game would be the first Monday in January, as it is now. So I really don't see the problem with expanding it to at least 6. I mean, especially with South Florida, or Central Florida, excuse me. Being undefeated last year, going to the Peach Bowl, defeating Auburn. That's probably where they'll end up again this year if they don't make the playoff, and they probably won't. But if they do beat Cincinnati bad, I think it'll be a good game. I don't know if they'll blow them out, but we'll see. I mean, like I said, that's why they play the games. But it should be a fun one in Orlando Saturday night. Like I said, I know everybody's hyped up down there right now. Got some connections, but Central Florida, I think they'll, and we'll have to see what happens. I mean, obviously they're going to need a lot to happen to get into the playoff this year. Now, if they were ranked a little bit higher, okay, that'd be a different story. But right now, with where they're at, even with the win on Saturday night, they probably won't get in. But I mean, it's still a good discussion about potentially them making the playoff or potentially expanding the playoff. And I think I think they'll win, and I think they should expand the playoffs. So Central Florida over Cincinnati Saturday. Arizona State goes to Oregon then in the Pac-12. Oregon, they really haven't played well on the road. They've played well, though, at home, though, this year. So give me the Ducks at home, or the Sun Devils. And then San Diego State and Fresno State, two of the teams I have the absolute utmost respect for in the Mountain West, other than Boise State. But both teams are coming off of a loss. Give me the Bulldogs over the Aztecs late Saturday night. So those are my college football Week 12 predictions. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to hit that like button right here on YouTube. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. Be sure, if you haven't done so already, to like, follow, and subscribe to Gridiron Ring on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Gridiron Ring's website, my Twitter and Instagram as well. All the links are in the description below. As I said, be sure to go check out my NFL Week 11 predictions and WWE NXT TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series 2018 predictions. And then be sure to follow me on Periscope at CoolHandLuke96. I'll be on Periscope on Thursday for the Packers Seahawks. Nothing on Friday. I'll be on Periscope on Saturday for Penn State Rutgers at noon. WWE NXT TakeOver War Games on Saturday night. And then maybe some other college games Saturday too. Who knows? We'll see. And then on Sunday for Eagles Saints Sunday afternoon, and then WWE Survivor Series 2018 Sunday night, and then on Monday night for Monday Night Football between the Chiefs and Rams. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, like I said, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Go check out the other videos for this week, the 3 videos I have out. Be sure to subscribe, share with friends and family as well, and then follow me on Periscope, and I will see everybody on Periscope for my live reactions, play-by-play of all these events this upcoming weekend.